Hi, I'm Audrey here with Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Today we're going to be talking about bromeliads. Bromeliads are beautiful, it's super easy to care for plants that can add a wonderful pop of color to any home. These guys, on top of being very easy to care for, they're also pet safe, which makes them great gifts and wonderful beginner houseplants. There are many different genera of bromeliads. We have Nerogelias up at the front, we have some chrysanthus or earth stars, which are those super bright pink guys down at the bottom. We have, of course, the Guzmanias, which are the most common one that you'll see around, which are these guys right here. We have my personal favorite, the Ecmias, and then we have Tillandsia. They're also bromeliads, which is really awesome. And of course, you have to mention the most famous bromeliad, the pineapple. So overall, they're gonna want generally the same watering and lighting, pretty bright indirect light. Some are going to want brighter light than others, however. Some of them with spikes on the edges, like the Nerogelias, and they have a stiffer, more structural leaf to them. They're going to require brighter light. Whereas the Guzmanias, they're very soft and flexible. They don't have any spikes on them. They can do well in a little bit of lower light. As for watering, you definitely want a light, fluffy potting soil. You don't want your bromeliad to be soggy or standing in any water at all. So making sure your mix is very well draining is very important. Another thing to note about bromeliads is most of the time you want to water the soil, but you also want to water inside the cup or the center of the bromeliad. So right in between the leaves, that's where bromeliads store their water. So in their native habitat, they collect the rain, it sits right in there, the plant absorbs it, and then the rest is evaporated off. So we can mimic this in our homes by putting a little bit of water in their cup and rinsing it out once a week. If you have your bromeliad in lower light, putting water in the middle of your plant isn't necessarily the best course of action because your transpiration is going to be reduced, plant's not using quite as much water, and the evaporation's reduced. So you're more likely to end up with rot and bacterial buildup than if your plant was in higher light. So bromeliads in their native habitat are either going to be terrestrial, which means they live in the soil like our chrysanthus down at the bottom, or they're going to be epiphytic, which means they grow in between rocks, in the treetops, in between branches, or even on branches. So those are like our Tillandsia down here, and then some of these other guys, they're also going to be epiphytic. Bromeliads are monocarpic, so once your flower fades, it will die, just like an annual or biannual. They only flower once, however, this isn't the end of them. You're going to get pups that push out the bottom after the flower has reached maturity. We've got our Ecmia right here with a big old pup right here. It's got some more on that side and then even more on this side. So this is an awesome one. So you can either do one of two things. You can take the pup off a little bit prematurely and pot it up on its own, or you can just let the mother plant fade away and nurture the pup until it's big and strong, and then you just remove the mother plant when she's entirely done. So we're gonna show you how to do a quick pot up of one of our pups from our Ecmia. Potting soil is super important for your bromeliads. You wanna make sure that you have a really nice fluffy mix. So right here I just have 2 parts of some basic potting soil, and then I have orchid bark over here and perlite, so 1 part of each of those. So to make your own mix, just pop those guys in. You could also add a little bit of charcoal if you'd like to make sure that nothing gets funky. Give it a good mix around, and then there we go. We have a nice, very well draining mix. We have our bromeliad pup that we cut off of our mother plant of the Ecmia fasciata. And now just pop a nice layer in the bottom. And just pour the rest in. And then lightly pack that soil around your new plant. And now you're ready to start the process all over again. Once this guy matures or ends up becoming under some stress, he will push out a bloom just like the mother. And of course, if you're in a pinch to pot up your bromeliad or its pups, you could always use just another very well draining potting soil like cactus soil, or even an orchid mix that has some soil in it. It's got lots of big chunks of bark and perlite in there already mixed for you, so those would be perfect. Another thing you can do with them is mount them on a board. So we've got a little variety of tillandsia up here. You can hang this on your wall, or you can just prop it up against the wall next to your desk, really anywhere you want. But yeah, that concludes our little video on bromeliads. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!